watching the MAC on ESPN. They're about to start the 107th season of Bowling Green football, and I don't know if there's been one as anticipated like this one. One of their own in Ohio, the former Heisman winner at Ohio State, Eddie George, is home to lead the Bowling Green Falcons. Welcome to Dordt Poirier Stadium. Welcome to the booth. Alongside the former national champion with the Michigan Wolverines, Marcus Ray, I'm Evan Stockton. So Marcus, back in the day, you were trying to tackle Eddie in the secondary, and now he's coaching Bowling Green. What's he thinking about?
I'll tell you what, the former 9-year NFL vet, Heisman Trophy winner, I played against him with the Raiders in Michigan. He probably wants to suit up, but he really wants to have a good showing today, play some clean football, and start his FBS coaching legacy. And
he had a legacy going in the FCS level with Tennessee State. You know, when they convinced Coach George to take that job at Tennessee State, he said, I didn't know what I was walking into. By the time he walked out of Nashville, they were rolling. Made the FCS playoffs last year, and now he's embarking upon another quote-unquote rebuilding job. Although here at Bowling Green, they made bowl games 3 years in a row. What's rebuilding for Coach George is the roster. He's bringing in darn near 50 new guys to the team this year, and their quarterback will be somebody new who college football fans know very well. It's Drew Pine on his fourth different school. Started at Notre Dame. People forget when he was at Notre Dame in the starter, he went 8-2 and won 4 games against top 25 teams. But then Sam Hartman was coming in, so Drew starts his college football odyssey, goes to Arizona State, where he just didn't get to play a whole heck of a lot because of injuries. Then last year he goes to Missouri. He ends up being the backup. Drew wins a notable game late in the year against Oklahoma, and now he finds his way to Bowling Green. What's he going to bring to this team, Marcus?
Well, obviously he brings a lot of experience. He's taken some snaps, been in a lot of different locker rooms, but just the fact that he's a leader, he's won some games, he's been in the big games, seen a lot of different talent. He plays with a lot of confidence, and he makes this team a lot better.
Getting ready to start the year with the football, the Bowling Green Falcons are, and pay attention now at the Doit. They are used to opening season kickoffs going back for touchdowns. Last year here at BG against Fordham, they took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. Lafayette comes in from the Lehigh Valley, where Mac Dumont, a legacy name at Lafayette, his dad went there, is about to get this 2025 season going. Season 107 of Bowling Green football, and the Eddie George era is just about underway. Will be a chance for a return here. It's Cameron Petaway coming up the field. Oh, you've got to be kidding me! For the second straight season, Bowling Green has started the season with a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Partner, you called it. I don't know if you're good luck, but I'll tell you what, you need to play the lottery. Look at Coach Eddie George fired up. That's how you want to start the season, putting up points on special teams without your offense even taking a snap.
And how good does that feel for Cam Petaway? He's been battling injuries the last couple of years. He sure looked healthy here.
He picked up some pretty good blocks. You see Eli, Jacone Duffy, he was able to kick out that block to spring Petaway.
97 yards to the house. Jackson Cleathert bangs that extra point through. And 11 seconds into the Eddie George era, I think they like how things are going.
Special teams is that third phase, man, where you got offense and defense, but if you can score points on special teams, gives you a lot of momentum, a short field. As you see, I mean, this thing's set up from the way they kick the football, a lot of hang time, all those blocks develop. This man is a backup running back. He has great vision and good feet.
You think Drew Pine's happy to be a Bowling Green Falcon?
Made his job easy.
He knew it as soon as Cameron got to the 20. Goodbye. Man, think about this for these guys on the sideline and out of the field, right? You've been working in camp for weeks. You've been working in the offseason for months. You've been waiting for that kick since last season ended. And Eddie George has got quite the memory on literally his first play as the head coach here.
I tell you what, former NFL guys that turn college coaches, they put a special emphasis, I mean, a heavy emphasis on special teams. I mean, that's one of the things. Head coaches make that their baby. They let their coordinators coach and coordinate, but they take special interest in special teams.
So now we find out what Lafayette's kick return team has for us, as Zach Long, the grad student from Tampa, to kick it deep for BG. Kyrie Henley, number 5, one of the men back deep for Lafayette. He's on the right side of your screen, being converted to running back from wide receiver this year. And Henley will have a chance for a return. Does lightning strike twice? It does not. As strong work by that coverage unit and Jeremiah Scobie on the return for Bowling Green. So Lafayette College has Dean DeNoble coming back at quarterback, and he is quickly rising up the ranks, Marcus, in their career history. He's got a great weapon on the outside in Stewart, but they lost their all-world running back Jamar Curtis from last year's team. They love DeNoble, though, because of how quickly he can get that ball out. Yeah,
they like to run an RPO, run-pass option, where it's really a run play called with the option to pass it on a perimeter where the receivers don't block, and that's why you see a lot of high percentage throws at 66% per clip. But if he takes care of the football, I think his offense will just have to manage the sticks, try to score some points.
Ethan Weber, the running back, and he's not going anywhere. Bottled up in the backfield. Eric George, Eddie's son, makes the first tackle of the season.
Eric George, big body, 6'3", 285, out of Nashville. Played a lot of football. He's down at Tennessee State for his father. He has a great first step and exceptional athletic ability.
Pringle in on that tackle, too. Play fake, a pump and a throw. They were trying Jalen McClendon, but MAC teams and teams facing McClendon this year would be wise. Probably don't throw in his direction.
Another transfer from Tennessee State, had an excellent year in 2024. Buck Buchanan finalist. You can play man-to-man coverage. It kind of takes away some of those quick throws on the perimeter if your front seven can stop the run.
Got Jalen matched up with Stewart, the best wide receiver for Lafayette. Got to throw it here, 3rd and long. Given time and caught. Ways to go, not going to get there. Keon Washington wraps him up. Tried that far side with Keener, and it's 3 and out for Lafayette.
It's good coverage on the back end. DeNoble had a lot of pressure in his face. He had to step up and try to deliver, and that's the one thing. If you can stop the run, don't give up any big plays, that'll keep guys like Coach Eddie George fired up on his first defensive series.
Fired up to see that defense look solid on their first series of the season. Just one returning starter for Bowling Green's D. Christian Bush, first-year punter for Lafayette. He was the holder last year. His first punt's a high hanger, and it'll be fair cut inside the 30-yard line. Bowling Green's already scored, and they haven't touched the ball yet. You're about to see the debut of Drew Pine with Bowling Green right after this. So I know the internet has been trying to find a mascot for the Mac this offseason. The Macoon has been tossed into the mix. I present to you Pudge the Cat. So during training camp, there's a tough practice, and the long snapper, George Carlson, brings his cat, Pudge, into the locker room. Then one of the wide receivers, Finn Hogan, who's got a bunch of TikTok followers, put Pudge on his TikTok. It started to go viral. Eddie George walks in the locker room one day, looks at Pudge and says, "Boys, I'm allergic. Pudge has got to go." Eddie then goes home, shows his wife a picture of Pudge, and she goes, "What are you doing? Pudge isn't going anywhere." So now Pudge is with the team darn near every day. He's got his own jersey. He's going on Good Morning America. Pudge the Cat has become a sensation, not just in this part of Ohio, Marcus Ray. He's become fast friends with Eddie George, and I don't know, I think Pudge the Cat's about to make a few more fans here tonight.
Yeah, I like his position, morale booster. I mean, look at the smile on Eddie's face. He doesn't look allergic to me.
Second straight give for Bowling Green. Not gaining a ton here, Marcus. Bowling Green is trying to lean on their offensive line and all that experience up front this year.
You see big Amir Crawley right there making a stop 55. I mean, one of the things Bowling Green wants to try to do is establish the run. They do have that veteran offensive line. They're the heartbeat of this football team. Played more than 3,000 snaps, 100+ starts. So that's the identity of their football team. If they can't run the football, then that's going to be a morale booster in itself for the Leopards.
Pine wants to throw for the first time as a Bowling Green Falcon, and he missed his man over the middle. It's one of those transfers, Jiren Johnson, and Bowling Green will punt.
Well, you'll see Bowling Green here runs what's called a spacing concept, where you get guys sitting down, a mesh concept, crossing routes, and you stop when you see zone football. But I think when you run those routes, you have to find the space, Evan. You can't just sit there. And I think that's what Pine was expecting his receivers to do, was sit down in the window instead of just sit there waiting for the football.
They hope they don't see a lot of John Henderson around here this year, but if they've got to use him, they're not going to be complaining when he's out there, because he's projected to be maybe the best punter in the MAC this year. Coach George calls him the Cyborg, and the Cyborg's getting a good role here.
He calls him the Cyborg, says he's just not human. I mean, he takes his shirt off, he does all kind of stuff, he looks good. It's a good punt there for the Falcons.
Our ESPN brethren, Pat McAfee, will love to hear that another punter is called the Cyborg. I mean, most punters, they're not looking like that with those forearms. All right, so second drive here for Lafayette. Any change-ups, you think, from the first drive?
I think you stick with the run game and possibly run some RPO where you work on that middle linebacker instead of trying to work on those cornerbacks. I think Lafayette's trying to see if they can block this Falcons front seven. Obviously, they don't want to. They want to get pressure with 4, stop the run, and then drop 7 on defense.
Bobbled the snap, got it to Edwards, and gained a couple right into that swarm of Falcons. Saw a lot of Ethan Weber on the first drive of the running back spot for Lafayette, and now they'll bring in Kente Edwards here. Mostly a special teamer so far in his college career.
Yeah, he's fast. He's a 100-meter guy. He was trucking people in camp, man, so he's definitely a load, but he's going to need that offensive line to create some more run lanes for him.
Like Bowling Green, an experienced line here at Lafayette. DeNoble gets it out, incomplete. Ozak was open, missed him.
I like the call. I mean, it was a short pass, completable pass, just a 5-yard out by Ozak. That's quick game passing. When you see slants, 5-yard outs, hitches at 5 yards, trying to get the ball out quick so that the quarterback's not under any type of duress, and I think that's just a missed opportunity for Lafayette.
Second straight drive, and they got a third down here. DeNoble setting up screen. This is Henley, and a Lafayette first down. He's a converted wide receiver this year from running back last year, and they got him a little space there to show off the speed.
And that's what you do with a space player. It's just it's called a slow screen, where you get linemen down the field and the running back sets up behind that wall. show drop back pass, and that was a great job by the left side of that line. Bosha, Wilson, and those guys setting up the screen as Henley was ever to leak out.
Well, unfortunately, this is a fact of life. The first handful of weeks of college football season, we are in a weather delay. When we woke up, saw the gray skies, the 60-degree temps and rain. Kind of felt like October, and kind of thought we were going to be able to get through this one without a delay, but lightning has been seen in the distance. So Eddie George's debut at Bowling Green, which literally on its first play had a 97-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, will have to wait at least 30 minutes. The action was so intense to start the season here at Bowling Green, Mother Nature decided we all needed to take a breather for like 30, 40 minutes. Welcome back to Deutsch Perry Stadium. Evan Stockton, Marcus Ray alongside the rest of our great crew. In case you missed the start of the game, you missed action at its finest on the first play of the season. For the second straight season, Bowling Green takes the opening kickoff of the season back for a touchdown. Cameron Petaway from 97 yards out, barely touched to the house.
What a way to start the season for Eddie George, first-year coach at Bowling Green University. That's how we got our only score right there, Evan. You start off with the opening kickoff. Combined 9 total plays, man, so far. We didn't get a lot of action just yet, but that was enough.
I mean, Coach George, during that weather delay, probably went back to the locker room and thought, shoot, this thing's easy at the FBS level. 1 play, touchdown, I got this.
Oh, yeah. They need to find a rhythm on that offense, though. Drew Pine and company. You know, it's always tough in week 1 after you play against your defense all camp, and you go get somebody new, get some new looks, and then you're trying to fill each other out. And same thing's happening for the Leopards.
Lafayette will have a first down, by the way, when we restart play. They're going to have the ball at their own 35-yard line. They converted a 3rd down and 6 right before the break. Got Kyrie Henry out of the backfield for a first down. Marcus, did you ever have something like this when you were playing, weather delay or anything like this?
No, we actually never had a delay. Just played in inclement weather one time against Purdue. It was a 5-2 game or something like that, 5-3. Mike Allstott and company, we had to rough him up.
5-3? Were you playing baseball or football?
It looked like it that day.
Clock is running here because clock would have been running if they had kept playing before the weather delay. Back to Henley, and he's tripped up in the backfield. Dorian Pringle from the mighty Massillon Tigers makes the stop.
It's a nice job there by Pringle reading his keys. You see right guard Spencer Adams, he was pulling around, and that's what told Pringle to get to that open side B gap and shoot his gap.
DeNoble to throw. Got to evacuate that pocket, and a man slipped free. That's Hozak for the first down. They've been trying to get Ethan Hozak, the tight end, going, and DeNoble finds him there on a little scramble drill.
Well, right there you'll see DeNoble going through his progression. Once he leaves the pocket, then it becomes a scramble drill.
DeNoble again. They do want to get into this tempo. They find Keener again. Solid gain on first down for Lafayette.
You see going a little tempo there, catching Bowling Green off guard, not allowing them to get their call in and get set up.
And that's what the coaching staff told us for Lafayette before the game, right? Well, why we like Dean, his experience as a starter. We want to move quick, and he gets the ball out quick.
You can only do that when someone understands the offense and they know exactly where the ball is supposed to go. It's something Dean has done for a long time here, and they really trust his decision-making as well.
Comes into the season second all-time at Lafayette. Dean does 66% completion percentage. The motion Carson Perzing. Throw it back to this near side, and it is caught again. McClendon wrangles down Elijah Stewart, his first catch of the season. 3rd down short coming up.
So what you're seeing Lafayette doing is taking advantage of the short throws. Bowling Green is playing a soft cover 4, just break the field into quarters, numbers, hash numbers, 4 guys deep. So that means there's a lot of grass in front of the defensive back. You'll probably see Bowling Green press up and take some of the air out of that bubble there here on 3rd and short.
They motion both the tight end Hozak and the running back Edwards. Fake to the back and incomplete. Pringle was all over Hozak. And now Lafayette in that part of the field where they got to make a decision.
I think you go for it here. I mean, if you're Lafayette, this is a triple option football, RPO, if you will. Tight end Hozak didn't get his eyes back soon enough. But one of the things Bowling Green did to take that away is play man-to-man coverage. That's one way you try to defend RPO, and you have a guy for a guy, and then you force the quarterback to make a decision.
Lined up to go for it here. 4th down, 2. DeNoble. Incomplete. Cal Pascal was all over that one. And Bowling Green gets off the field.
It's a good stop there for Bowling Green. They played over man-to-man. It's tough for Dean DeNoble to find an open man as they passed off those receivers. He almost made a play there, though, for Stewart, his favorite target. It's a good pass rush there by the Falcons.
And now we see Bowling Green out of the field offensively for the 2nd time. To the ground they go. They find a little bit up the middle. Drew Pine only threw the ball once on the first drive of the game, and he had an incompletion on 3rd down as Chris McMillan runs for a couple.
I've been impressed with the front 3 there in the run game so far by Lafayette.
Pine throws to R.J. Garcia. Took a pop along that sideline. Coaching staff for Bowling Green was telling us, Marcus, coming into this game, they're expecting R.J. to take a leap forward this year at the wide receiver spot.
Yeah, he's their most polished route runner, coming off an injury in 2024. But it's one way you get your quarterback going for Drew Pine as you throw short, quick screens, perimeter passes, and then you expect your wide receivers to block.
Back to the ground. Didn't need a lot, didn't gain a lot, but they got the 1st down with Cameron Petaway, the guy who returned the opening kick 97 yards for a touchdown.
So what you want to do is move the chains there if you're Bowling Green. You got favorable field position there after 4th down stop. Now you just want to manage the game, try to find a rhythm and set up some deep shots with your run game.
Pine's got time, then he lost the time. Petaway made the catch, Marcus, but I think the smarter decision there would have been to let that ball fall because he caught the ball and lost some yards.
Sure did, though. One reason he may have caught the ball is because it potentially was a lateral. He probably wasn't sure, but that's good defense there by Lafayette. Big fellas getting back there. And what they did, they took away Pine's initial read to the wide side of the field. And once you have to come back to your check down, chances are he might not be open.
Goes down as a loss of 7 on the completion. Pine turns the shoulders, found a guy over the middle. They're really high on their tight end group this year, and they've got a completion to make it 3rd down and shorter.
See a little bootleg action here where you fake the run. It's a nice job. A short crossing route across the middle there by Hogan.
Listed as a wide receiver, but Finn's bid bodied at 6'5". This is a free play. And Pine looking for Hogan again, throws the incompletion. This will not be a 1st down, by the way, because it was 3rd and 6. But it'll make it 3rd down and really short. First time here at Rich Edwards tonight.
Got the big fella Dominique Salvatelli moving prematurely.
How many times did you practice that name before the game? Rolled right off the tongue, Marcus. Rolled right off the tongue. Long one. And Bowling Green's got it again. McMillan backpedaling for the 1st down. They are cool, Marcus, living in this spot all year because Bowling Green loves the experience they've got up front of the O-line.
You see McMillan, see his numbers, gets between the tackles pretty good. See his numbers, and he's a downhill runner, first season at Bowling Green. It's going to take a while for this offensive line to gel, but right now they're just playing ball control offense.
Pine gives. Looked like that line was starting to open up a hole again, but it closed quick on McMillan. Still a solid gain, though, first down, as that was Shimko who tripped him up.
Bowling Green playing gap scheme football. That just means they're going to block down at the point of attack and then pull a lineman from the weak side. That was a power play. And they'll take 4 yards every time they run the ball if they can, and that's one of the things Lafayette wanted to do, is try to stop the run and then limit the explosive plays.
Third different man to carry the ball on this drive. That's Kadarius Roberts cutting it up right near the line to gain. Another running back that Bowling Green's coaching staff was excited to see in action tonight.
The transfer from Tennessee State. You'll see all 3 or 4 of these running backs get an opportunity. They're still auditioning to become the premier guy. Right now they're going to do it by committee.
Roberts again. And this time he runs into a wall. A whole bunch of Lafayette guys up front, take your pick. One of them, Olivier Camerlane, the sophomore from Quebec.
Good stop there, run defensively. The Leopards just have to try to stay out of third and second and short. It's tough, as you see Kadarius Roberts. Not big, but he plays big. He's fast. Transfer from Tennessee State, another one of Eddie George's guys.
Brought a whole bunch of them over from Nashville with him. Another give. McMillan into the secondary. Spinning his way inside the 20. Starting to lean on that D-line for Lafayette. Bowling Green and Chris McMillan into the red zone.
See here, we'll take a look at this offensive line. They're just running what's called GY counter, where the guard pulls and then the tight end pulls the wrap up to the linebacker. That's a fine job there of executing that blocking scheme. That's why that running lane was so big.
Try the middle again. And McMillan actually lost a yard. Marcus, you have been talking about on this drive, Lafayette's up front getting a nice little surge in the middle at times.
Yeah, they are. And what they're doing, they're utilizing that 3-man front to try to get 3 to eat up 5 blockers, and that's called 2-gapping, and get double teams to allow those linebackers to fly around. So got to give a lot of credit to pick Amir Crowley in there and Pfeiffer and the guys. I mean, they're really causing 2 people to block them.
McMillan spinning free again. Almost broke free for a touchdown. Had to make a touchdown-saving tackle for Lafayette. That was Avery Jones who stopped McMillan from getting into the orange paint.
Nice job of executing there on the zone play up the middle. Former wide receiver turned DB, Avery Jones.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yet again to McMillan. This is not a surprise to see this philosophy from Bowling Green. Their offensive coaching staff said in the lead up, hey, we're an O-line driven team. We're going to give them a chance to succeed tonight.
And then also you want to try to wear Lafayette down in case this becomes a 4-quarter battle in the trenches. Got the big veteran offensive line laying on people, getting 3-4 yards a carry.
McMillan stonewalled at the 5. Doesn't it feel like they're setting up play action here with all these runs up the middle?
Yeah, they sure do. And what Bowling Green's doing is they're playing 12 personnel. What that means, 1 back, 2 tight ends. They have 5 tight ends on this roster that they're very excited about, led by Jaron Johnson. But they have 5 tight ends. We have that many, then you'll see 1 and 2 tight end packages, because it's hard to defend the run when you put that many offensive guys in the box, and you still have weapons on the outside.
Roberts. Not going to get there. 3rd down and goal. Nice closing speed defensively for Lafayette.
See that run support there by Gatson from his corner position. That was a great tackle in space. Looked like Bowling Green overloaded the right side of their line, and he cut that one back. But I'll tell you what, I think it's 4-down territory for Bowling Green. We'll find out here in a second.
That's called a tease in the biz. Let's go to the 2nd quarter. Bowling Green trying to double their lead in game number 1 in Eddie George's head coaching career. College football royalty in the house tonight at Dwight Perry Stadium in Bowling Green. Urban Meyer, who started his head coaching career here at Bowling Green, being honored in the lead up to him being inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame later on this year. Coach Meyer was here earlier today speaking on a panel on the importance of college football in America, reminiscing on his time here at Bowling Green. He said, I got here today and looked around and went, where was all this when I was here? Drew Pine is sacked. That pressure for Lafayette that Marcus keeps talking about finally gets home right up the chute with Robert Stevens.
That's a big-time stop. I really like the blitz they dialed up there. I mean, I was thinking Bowling Green probably was going to run the ball, but coming off of a quarter change there, you have more time to talk and possibly get some play action in there. But that was a great stop. And even though with the ball control and all the rushing yards, I think this is a win for the defense. Anytime you give up 3, especially after that long drive.
Jackson Cleather will try a 30-yarder. Happy to have him back and healthy. Jackson last year missed a lot of time with injury. Missed the last half of the season. Back healthy and knocking it through for BG. The lead increases to 10. Our Labor Day weekend ESPN and ABC college football featured lineup rolls on tomorrow night with Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes hosting Georgia Tech. Awesome Saturday tripleheader. Starts with a neutral site game. Syracuse, Tennessee in Atlanta. Then number 8 Alabama, Florida State. Who's the real Death Valley? LSU and Clemson, a top 10 battle. Don't forget about Sunday and Monday, too. On Sunday, number 13 South Carolina, who just missed out on the playoff last year, hosting Virginia Tech. And then that old rivalry renewed. Top 10 matchup, Notre Dame and Miami. Every game also available on the all-new ESPN app. You know, I think there's got to be a few of those students in the Bowling Green student section going, man, thank God we play on a Thursday because now I can clear out Friday and Saturday and Sunday. And don't forget about Monday because Bill Belichick's making his North Carolina coaching debut.
Yeah, we got a great slate of college football this weekend. And, you know, as a college student, once you watch your team on Thursday, you got all day Saturday to get it in.
This is into the end zone for a touchback. And the Lafayette offense is back onto the field. Dean DeNoble trying to lead the troops down the field after this. anyone knows Lafayette Leopard football, it's John Troxel, 4th season at his alma mater. When he was a player there, he was a really good safety who won the Unsung Hero Award. Got Lafayette to the FCS playoffs a couple of years ago. And in the incredibly small world department, we were talking to Coach Troxel the other day, and he goes, by the way, do you guys know that Drew Pine's uncle was my roommate in college? Yeah, the quarterback for Bowling Green, Drew Pine. His uncle Dave was Coach Troxel's roommate when they were together at Lafayette. I'd sing It's a Small World after all, but I don't want it stuck in your head the rest of the night. We've got a change here. DeNoble did not take that snap. That's Jason Penza with a solid gain on 1st down for Lafayette. And there's late flags along that Bowling Green sideline, too. They used Penza a lot in the run game last year.
Yeah, he's a dual threat guy, and right there, they gave him a nice look.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down. This is number 0's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
It's not what they want from Pascal, who's expected to be one of the leaders of that defense this year.
Got a little misdirection, triple option look, and you pull the offensive lineman back to the weak side. I mean, right at the end right there, that push, and it definitely wasn't a tackle out of bounds. It was a little extra sauce on that tackle out of bounds. Nice play call.
And off Weber. Ooh, man, great tackle. That was Pringle tripping him up. There's a lot of room there if he slips that tackle.
Pringle, 6', 220, sophomore out of Massillon High School. Good football there in Northeast Ohio. That was a good open field tackle, or otherwise Weber could have been gone for a lot more.
DeNoble is back at quarterback now, by the way, after Penza took the first snap. Pitch it to the right. Kente Edwards sandwiched by a couple. Pringle in on it again. He is racking up the tackles early on in this one.
Got some nice blocking there on the perimeter from his receivers. With the old school toss sweep. You see Pringle, we're calling his name an awful lot. He's flying around sideline to sideline.
He had 2 tackles all of last year. He's over that in 1/2 this year. DeNoble looking downfield. Tried Pascal. McClendon in coverage as well. Didn't work. 4th down.
That was just great coverage there by Pascal. I mean, when you're a safety covering down over the slot, you have to be an athletic guy who can play in space. You see to the right side, you get flushed out of the pocket, and just no separation.
Lafayette did go for it on a 4th down earlier in the half. Sitting right around midfield here, they'll elect to punt. This will be the 2nd one for Christian Bush. He was the holder last year. Brennan Ridley is back there for Bowling Green, and it's a fair catch at the 12. 10-0 lead for Bowling Green. 3 points on offense so far tonight. Trying to get that unit unglued after this. anytime you start a year and you're still figuring out who's going to come out of camp and really assert themselves, huge deal here at Bowling Green with the new head coach, the new coaching staff. Pretty much everybody's new here. Darn near 50 new guys on the team, including that quarterback Drew Pine. They're still trying to figure out who the lead back will be. We saw a lot of Chris McMillan on the last drive. This drive starts with Kadarius Roberts. Also seen some Cameron Petaway in there as well. It's been a heavy run offense so far tonight for Bowling Green. Pine's going to throw on cue. And there's Finn Hogan, who is a wide receiver. Although at 6'5", 220, it's a pretty darn big wide receiver on the outside.
Yeah, nice little hitch route to get him going. You see his player profile, transferred from Central Michigan.
He's trying to make Pudge the Cat famous with all those TikTok followers.
It's a lot of followers, man. I mean, you know, he plays ball, but he may have a career in reality TV here with that type of following on TikTok.
Hey, man, we're living in the NIL world. Don't knock the hustle. Roberts, nice stiff arm as he gets across the 30-yard line. It's a first down for Bowling Green and a strong start to the drive.
For any team trying to win a championship, you are going to have a two-headed monster. You see the outside zone to the weak side. It's a good call there by offensive coordinator Travis Partridge, Greg Nosal. Those guys understand to block people. I really like the call, but you see these running backs auditioning right now.
Back up the middle. And Metal Wall right at the 35-yard line. A couple of Lafayette guys helping to make the tackle. Beckham D, one of those men making the tackle. Got transferred over from Penn State.
Yeah, you'll see Dante Johnson 10 flying up from his safety position to fill that gap. But see, Bowling Green's really trying to establish himself in the run game just to manage the situation. You don't want to turn it over. Protect your defense, keep them off the field, and then try to find out who are going to be your playmakers.
Blitz coming again, and they run up the middle for not a whole heck of a lot again. Cameron Petaway gained a couple, and here's a third down and long. Yet again, Robert Stevens helped to make that physical play.
Yeah, Stevens, man, 6'1", 216, stuck his face right in the fan. He got injured his freshman year, had some growing pains last year, but that play right there, he was filled the middle.
Bowling Green's been pretty solid on third down so far tonight. Pine given time, incomplete, almost picked. There's Beckham D again. Knocked that thing down and forced a punt.
That was a great pass drop. You see the middle of your screen working to his left. That concept right there is called stick. And stick just means you're going to get an outside go, some type of flat route from the back, and then the slot's going to sit down right at the hole 5 yards, and he has to drift away from the linebacker in order for that play to work.
Second punt of the night for John Henderson. Lest you think punters aren't athletes, John was also the quarterback in high school. He's also expected to be one of the MAC's best punters. And another good one here. Long way to go for Lafayette. This drive will start right around the 15-yard line. Coach George calls him the cyborg. Another darn good punt from John Henderson. Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and the all-new app, we celebrate the coach. Lee Corso's final college game day after 38 years. From down the road at the Shoe in Columbus, the site of that awesome matchup between #1 Texas and #3 Ohio State. It's also the site of the first time that Coach ever put on a mascot head, Brutus, which, by the way, he put on a mascot head here all the way back to
former Husky head coach is going with Fleet of the Falcon.
Look at the gloves. Look at
and the gloves. It's unanimous. We thank you for joining us from Mac Country. The Buckeyes and the Hoosiers are next. We'll see you later on today from Bowling Green.
I think my car is parked where Coach Corso put on the headgear that day. Bowling Green went on to win that game in what was a celebration of the Mid-American Conference. Excited to celebrate Coach Corso in a couple of days. I don't know if you can say there has been a greater ambassador for the sport of college football than Lee Corso.
Yeah, that's hard to argue. I remember playing at Michigan. He did a few headgear games during our big ones as well.
DeNoble sets up screen. Upper meter, really nice catch, and then got hit hard. Dorian Pringle is navigating every centimeter of the turf so far tonight.
Yeah, he's roaming free, actually. I mean, those FD lines protecting him pretty well. I like the call here. A slow screen to the running back. Picks up a nice block there on the outside. And anytime you get positive plays and you can get into a third and medium or so, then you still have a chance.
They're down long. Pressure coming, down he goes. DeNoble had nowhere to go. All that pressure from Bowling Green obfuscated what he was looking at, and that's a sack for the Bowling Green transfer from Dayton, Gideon Lampron.
What you see, you got a lot. It's called a cross dog, where those linebackers cross each other, and defensive line are stunting and moving. Tough to pick up in pass protection, and I like the celebration there by Lampron.
Is that like the land shark that Marshall Henderson used to do at Ole Miss in basketball?
You know what his middle name is, don't you, buddy?
Oh. it's the place that's paying our bills tonight. We'll get to that story in a moment. Gideon's middle name is outstanding. We're contractually obligated to say what it is. Got a chance for a return here with Ridley. Ooh, boy, what a tackle in the open field. Avery Jones. Hello.
Gotta like that. Special teams making tackles in space, especially on the short field.
So here's the deal with Gideon Lampron. Yes, his middle name is ESPN. It's pronounced Espin, but on his birth certificate, it's ESPN. So his dad's a giant sports fan, grew up in Boston. He wanted to name Gideon's older brother after Larry Bird. And Gideon's mom said, no way that's happening. So after Gideon was born, a few years later, she's out after giving birth, and Gideon's dad was given the birth certificate, wrote down as the middle name ESPN, and signed off on it.
There you go.
Gideon's mom was not happy when she woke up and found that out. Handful of yards on first down for Bowling Green. I guess the story goes for a while, Gideon was kind of embarrassed by that middle name, but now he embraces it. And how could you not? It's an outstanding middle name.
Yeah, it is. Very unique, especially for a good player. And then also, it's just like I could just tell in that locker room, or just walk past him and go, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. He knows what that means.
That exact joke, Marcus, he's probably been told 100,000 times.
You know I'm old school, man.
McMillan tackled in the open field right as those legs started churning. Beckham D yet again with a strong play defensively for Lafayette.
Yeah, the transfer from Penn State. That was a good open field tackle. Good looking kid too. Young man, 6'1", 219, out of Pittsburgh. That was a good tackle there on second down. I like the play call too. It was drawn up perfectly, but he read his keys and made that tackle.
They're down and longer here again for Bowling Green. Pressure coming on Pine. Flag behind the play as Drew takes a big hit near that sideline. Oh, and now we got some pushing and shoving as Pine went down hard. There is laundry all over the field at Deutsche Perry Stadium right now.
It's going to be interesting to see how we're probably going to get a holding call there on the back end. And if you're Lafayette, you had great pressure. Play was going to be over, going in your favor. And then see a little extracurricular there on the sideline.
If you're Bowling Green, too, on that sideline, the coaching staff, you're thinking, Drew, we appreciate the effort, but we don't need you taking hits like that.
That's right. Definitely get out of bounds when you can. And there's no way he was going to get that first down. But he also gave up his body by going out of bounds, too. So there's no way you want to make contact with him, especially that violently.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 against each team. Holding, offense, number 77. That will be a 10-yard penalty. After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct, late hit out of bounds, defense number 98. That 15-yard penalty will also be enforced. First down, Bowling Green.
You'll see here, you'll see linebackers blitzing, quarterback spy.
It looked like some contact right to the face mask here at Pine, too.
Yeah, you see the holding penalty there on James Thomas Jr., the right guard. See the tail end of this play as he's going out of bounds. Whew. See Ryan Gatson.
And there's no nefarious intent there. He's just trying to make a play. And sometimes as you're racing up near the sideline, you can lose track of it a little bit. Give back to Petaway. His burst has been on display tonight. First play of the game, he took one back 97 yards to the house. And Gatson, who just had that costly penalty, had to tackle him in the secondary that time.
You see here the way he blocked this little inside zone play. I mean, this Petaway guy out of Farmington Hills, Michigan, looks pretty good.
Pine throws, and it's caught. Jalen Edwards wrestles the wide receiver out of bounds. That's Ridley, who's been returning tonight for Bowling Green, his first catch.
That was a pre-snap read by Pine. That was a design run play. And in the world of RPO, it's not always a run fake. The quarterback can predetermine if he likes that speed out pre-snap. You see, blocking up front. Nice throw and catch.
Petaway. Ran into one of his linemen, ran into the star center, Alex Padgett. Still enough, though, for a Bowling Green first down. Beckham D on the tackle again.
This Bowling Green line averages 6'5", 318 pounds. And you can see Eddie George is making a conscious effort to run the football downhill while he has a 2-score lead and control this game. And they've been down in this area before, but they really want to try to master their run game to create their identity offensively.
Back to Petaway. Cameron Petaway. Tackled yet again in the secondary by Ryan Gatson. So, Marcus, let me get this straight. The head coach, Eddie George, who won the Heisman at Ohio State, wants to establish the run game? Is that what you're saying?
He sure does, man. And I'll tell you what, man, it's NFL mentality, too. If you can run the football, man, and you give your team a chance to really control the clock, move the sticks.
Petaway tripped up by his shoelaces that time. Barely gained a yard. And now it'll set up a third down where a lot of the playbook is open, as Pfeiffer was the guy who tripped up Petaway.
Yeah, and so far, you know, Bowling Green's doubling up Lafayette in the time of possession with this run game. And they haven't really been in long yardage at all. You know, they were blessed to get that personal foul penalty after they had a holding penalty to sustain this drive. And they get I think this is 4-down territory here if you're Bowling Green with the time on the clock and all the momentum that you have.
Petaway running left. Line to gain was inside the 5. He did not get there. And right away, Coach George and the coaching staff know what they're doing. No kicker coming on. Blockers coming on the field, 4th down short.
Yeah, bringing in that heavy package. You'll see 22 personnel, 2 backs, 2 tight ends. You maybe see 3 tight ends. And One back, 13 personnel, but they've got all tight ends in the game here.
I think this is straight out of John Cooper's playbook when Eddie George was at Ohio State. Right up the gut, first carry.
It's gonna be close.
Yeah. Amakri, the freshman, his first carry of the game.
He might be short.
Akai Amakri did not get it. Lafayette bend but don't break. Amakri's first carry of the game is stopped short. And the early gamble by Eddie George goes bust. Lafayette gets a big stop coming down the stretch, first half. Marcus keeps talking about it. Eddie George in his first game at Bowling Green is trying to establish an identity. Just went for a fourth down deep in Lafayette territory. And they couldn't get the yardage here, Marcus, and they turned it over on downs.
Yeah, and I really think Nakai, he missed that cut to the right. If you look to the left of our screen, once he gets through there, he has to keep his head up. But there was a lot of penetration by that front seven. Leopards defense. That's another win for the defense to stop FBS offense with that big veteran offensive line inside the goal line area.
DeNoble takes the snap in his own end zone. Incomplete. Looked like they were hoping for Elijah Stewart on the old pump and go.
Well, you'll see when offenses are backed up, they'll take a shot on first down and loosen you up. That's good coverage there. I don't think the play fake fooled anyone, but sometimes you got to take a shot to loosen them up just so you can get some room to punt the football. It's not always about trying to get a first down for John Troxell and his guys.
Give to Edwards, who runs into MJ Cannon, who had the coverage on the last play. Third down coming up for Lafayette.
It's a good run play there. I mean, you get a little motion from the slot, give you a little triple option feel, try to get some misdirection going, and that's a positive play there. I mean, on third and medium, backed up. They're going to be looking for some grass in front of those cornerbacks if they don't walk up and press.
DeNoble on third down, behind his intended target. hoping for Perzine. He did have some room on that far side of the field.
Yeah, that's the right call to get a short 5-yard quick out. It's tough sometimes for right-handed quarterbacks to make that throw accurately. He just threw that one a little bit too far inside, but he had his man beat. Keon Washington there. It's a missed opportunity for the Leopards. It's a good call, though.
Also stops the clock right before the 2-minute timeout. So depending on how long this punt takes, Bowling Green may get essentially a free play before that break of 2 minutes. It's a very short punt. Off the side of Bush's foot. And then it takes a nice hop for him forward. It will run the clock inside 2 minutes. Bowling Green offense still looking for some mojo. They got at least one more drive in the first half coming up. What you're seeing on your screen is not unexpected from Bowling Green tonight. Coaching staff told us coming in, we think we got a lot of good backs, and we want to use a bunch of them tonight. Number 4, Chris McMillan, has had the bulk of the carries. Petaway's got the highlight tonight with that kickoff return to start the game for a touchdown. Kadarius Roberts takes his turn here as the 2-minute drill begins. Juggled and caught. Reese Stocksdale with room. The Ohio State transfer. It's this drive cooking for Bowling Green as Avery Jones made the tackle.
That's what you want to see. I mean, when your offense can't really get going, throw a quick screen. That's just a bubble pass. Got some good blocking on the perimeter. Coach George said, hey, if you're going to play receiver here, no block, no rock. That means you have to block. And if you're going to run those type of plays, I really like them when you get it to a good athlete in space.
Watch the clock management here, too, for Bowling Green. Both teams have all the timeouts left. Roberts on the ground. Kept the legs churning. Leaned inside the 25. Marcus, if you're Lafayette here, are you thinking about burning timeouts at all?
No, not at all. I don't think that it would be worth it. You might be helping out Bowling Green a little bit if you call timeout down in this type of situation. I mean, to be down 10-0, considering that their defense has been playing in this area a lot in this first half.
Roberts again, a bolt of lightning up the middle. Kadarius Roberts has got the first down inside the 15.
Nice downhill run. You'll see it here. It's called a power play. Weak side guard comes in there, picks up a good block. Spread them out, spread them and shred them right down the middle. That's a good downhill run for Roberts.
Edwards had to stop him in the secondary. Nobody's used any timeouts yet. Roberts again to the 10, and now Bowling Green will use the first timeout. Coming up on Saturday, we got a full slate of action coming for you on ESPN Plus. It'll start at noon when Merrimack goes to Kent State. Then 3:30, you can watch either Holy Cross against Northern Illinois or Temple against returning MAC member UMass. You can use the all-new ESPN app with the multi-view feature to watch them both at the exact same time. Football is back, and more importantly, Maction is back.
It's pretty neat you can use that multi-view feature, watch more than one game.
Why resort to watching one MAC game when you can watch as many as humanly possible at the same time? All right, 2nd down 6 for Bowling Green. They still can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. Pine given time. That's caught by Roberts. He is tackled short of the line to gain, so Bowling Green forced to burn another timeout here. It'll be 3rd down and very short.
Yeah, you get that snag concept where you get a back end of flat, corner route behind him, and a little stick route. It's a good call to the short side of the field, especially if they're in man-to-man coverage down here. You get some rub routes.
Beg your pardon, Bowling Green did not have to burn timeout there because they ruled that Roberts rolled out of bounds. So they catch a break. Petaway leaning ahead. Bowling Green touchdown. I guess the recipe tonight for Bowling Green is when you give that man the ball, good things are going to happen. Beg your pardon. That was not Petaway. That's the 5th different man to carry the rock tonight. That's Markel Porter in for 6.
Eddie George is taking that approach from the NFL where you have designated backs for different things. You'll see this is called duo blocking. You get double teams right at the point of attack. No pullers, just straight downhill. It's a nice surge by that offensive line.
Eddie George, it won't surprise you, as a guy who was a star running back down the road in Columbus, wants to run the rock, and they did want to find out what they had in that running back room, and they're cycling through a whole bunch of bodies so far tonight.
Yeah, you want to keep guys fresh too. Just look at the left side of that line. It's a big Jake Burns, Pageant in the middle. They don't mind running the football offensive line, even if it's 1 yard or 2 yards. They don't care. Just run the football. Keep the ball from being turned over in the air. So far, Bowling Green, 105 yards rushing in that first half on 31 attempts. Not much per carry, but enough to keep their defense off the field and stretch their lead.
And Marcus, you know this as well as anyone, as a former Michigan Wolverine, right? The whole deal with establishing the run is maybe early in the game they're 1 or 2. By the time you get to the late 3rd, 4th quarter, they'll start turning into 18, 28, 48-yard runs, kind of like what Eddie George was doing both in college and in the NFL.
Yeah, because a lot of times defensive guys, they don't want to tackle for 4 quarters. I mean, I played defense on a great defense, as a matter of fact, 97 champs, if you will. But it's just something about the D-line wearing down. They're big, they're strong. You can only fight for so long before, you're right, one of those 3-yard gains goes for 30 or 40.
Did you notice how Marcus just slid that in there? Great defense, 97 national champs. Are there any other stats from that D you want to rattle off before they snap the ball here again?
I mean, where do you want to start, man? You know, I was talking in the opener. I told you, and I played against Eddie, man. He was a great football player. And I you know, on our call, we talked about some of his struggles as an early young player, where he fumbled against Illinois twice. He told us twice. I remember the one they returned it, and then he took that adversity. And one thing he's trying to build with his program is fighting through adversity. He had his own set of adversity, NFL, college, and he turned it into a borderline Hall of Fame career. You know, at the pro level, definitely in college. And then you look at what he's trying to do with these young men. You got to tip your cap to him in the first half.
Lafayette elects to take a knee here. They are going to get the ball to start the second half. Wasn't all smooth sailing for Eddie George in half number one as the head coach at Bowling Green. But I think he'll take a 17-0 lead into the locker room. First play of his Bowling Green head coaching career was a kickoff return for a touchdown for Cameron Petaway. And the offense starting to come unglued after that. Lightning struck early. Then we had to pause because lightning actually struck. And then Bowling Green shut out Lafayette the rest of the first half after that. Welcome back to Bowling Green. After a tough fall camp, the Falcons' long snapper George Carlson thought the locker room needed a little morale boost, so enter his cat, Pudge. Here's ABC News and Good Morning America correspondent Danny New with more on maybe the new MAC football mascot.
Arch Manning, touchdown!
With college football's first full Saturday of the season coming this weekend, many eyes will be on quarterback Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns. Over the past few weeks, many fans have been obsessed with a different member of an orange college football team, Pudge, the unofficial mascot of Bowling Green.
Everybody loves his face, his tongue.
Pudge belongs to George Carlson on the left there, who is the Falcons' long snapper. Over the past month, George has been bringing this 3-year-old terror to the locker room on off days to boost morale.
Kind of sits and eats and sleeps, and that's it. That's all he does.
And maintains the locker room.
Yeah.
Going to the end zone. High press. Caught by Finn Hogan.
Enter wide receiver Finn Hogan, who began sharing these now viral videos of Pudge on TikTok. One commenter writing, "We love Pudge. More, please, please, please."
Definitely blew up a lot more than I ever thought I was actually going to.
And Pudge has now even gotten his own jersey.
He loves it. He kind of just sits and hangs out in it.
And the school has even teamed up with a distributor to start selling Pudge t-shirts. And by the way, all this attention comes as the school was already getting quite a bit.
George is gone.
As they gear up for their first season under former Heisman winner and football legend Eddie George as their head coach. Here he is holding Pudge, and if you think he looks a little uncomfortable,
I'm allergic to cats. So I was like, what the hell is a cat doing in the locker room, initially.
It has been set by Coach Prime going from Jackson State to Colorado, and I think a few folks around here, and certainly around the Mid-American Conference on the football side, are wondering if deja vu will strike here, where you've got Eddie George going from the HBCU level and the FCS level at Tennessee State, going to Bowling Green. Marcus, how do you see, if any, comparisons between Coach Prime and Coach George?
Well, I think they bring that pedigree, and they're hiring former NFL players. Guys like Clyde Simmons, coaching that defensive line for Bowling Green, and I think that they've been where a lot of these college players want to go. So they come in with respect. They have their own great careers as players, great young men, great fathers. So why wouldn't you want to play for a guy like that? And it's all about getting players.
I mean, look, when we spoke to Coach George before this game, he was remarkable talking about, hey, I had no interest in being a coach. That was never on my radar. And when Tennessee State asked me to do it, I'm sitting there going, are you sure? You're talking to the right guy? But he got into the grind, realized what he needed to learn, and now he says, I can't imagine doing anything else. This is what I want to be doing for the time being, and he has fully bought it here at Bowling Green.
Yeah, Coach George was an entrepreneur, spent some time acting, television, commentating. He's a guy that has a face for TV. He was doing his thing, and then he got called to coach college football, and I think the game has been blessed to have him. Bowling Green's got the right guy, and hat goes off to Scott Loeffler for handing him a good cupboard.
I want that time stamped. Marcus Ray thinks Eddie George is a handsome man. Someone please clip that up. I mean, you're not wrong. I'm with you on this one.
At least I didn't say good looking, man. He has a face for TV. He had a great acting career too, man. So, but football is his game, and he has a lot to offer these young men as far as what it means to develop character, be lifelong leaders and positive, powerful presences in the community. So that's what it's all about, and he didn't want to let that go to waste.
Play fake for DeNoble. And incomplete. Stewart, the wide receiver, slipped. Almost ended up working out, but it will be third down long for Lafayette. This resume for Eddie George, remarkable. The Heisman at Ohio State, all that success in the pros. But Marcus, if you're of my age, they're missing one thing in that resume. Eddie George was on the cover of Madden, man. I mean, come on.
But it said 0-1 versus Marcus Ray on the most important bullet point. Oh, our team, I tell you what, Braden, boy, you're a piece of work, boy, I tell you.
Coach George gonna like that. Evan Branch Hayes makes the tackle, and Lafayette forced to punt.
But I will tell you this, man, it was a Thursday night, we're playing the Titans, and I wasn't getting much playing time. I was a backup, and they had a big fullback, Lorenzo Neal. He was roughing people up. And I had a pure bust, I think, in run support. Eddie popped one around the end. I pushed him out of bounds on the 1-yard line. So he's been giving me a hard time for that since 1999. But I'm proud to see him doing his thing, man, and getting these Bowling Green Falcons back on track.
Another punt for Christian Bush. And Ridley will let it go out of bounds. So when we had our Zoom call leading up to the broadcast and we talked with Coach George, you will not be shocked to learn that Marcus has got a lot of Michigan apparel behind him as he does these coach calls. And if an eye roll could talk, when Eddie George saw your background, I said, you've got to be, did you just dig up like every Michigan thing you've ever accrued so I could put it in the background of this call?
Hey, and y'all peeked how I got up early. Remember, he was getting on the call a little bit. He was switching over, and I got up so y'all could see it. He said, yeah, you did that on purpose. It's an Ohio State-Michigan thing, man. Coach George and I have been friends a long time, man.
Pine off the play fake. Rolling right. And somehow he got that ball away as Beckham D was bearing down on him. Cleaver makes the catch, and Bowling Green ends up getting something out of what looked like it was going to be nothing.
Yeah, and I actually thought Pine was going to throw the ball away. It was a two-man route. Great coverage on the back end there for Lafayette. Finds an open man there, tries to make sure he didn't get a negative play out of that. He easily could have threw the ball out of bounds. He was outside of the pocket.
Back to the ground. This is McMillan. There is just not a lot there. A couple of Lafayette Leopards converging on the tackle, and they are fired up. Dante Jackson bringing the thunder.
But one of the things the Bowling Green offensive coaches told us was that, you know, when we asked how hard is it to prepare, what do you expect from this Lafayette defense? And they said one of the things they noticed, they don't have very many coverage busts. Guys are where they're supposed to be. They're a very fundamentally sound, well-coached defense, and you've been seeing that all evening.
Fake to Petaway, set up middle screen, and there is room for Jyron Johnson. They have high hopes for the transfer from Texas Southern in his 6th collegiate season. Is in the books in Bowling Green.
It's a well-designed play there for Johnson. Used the running back action to get everybody's attention. Drew Pine looks him off. They actually had the screen snuffed out, but he was able to hold the ball a little bit longer and make a play.
6'4", 235, coming right in the middle of your living room. Bowling Green offense at times tonight has struggled converting on 3rd down. Jyron Johnson just made it happen for him. We're all very excited about this. The all-new ESPN app, the best way to watch sports. All of ESPN, all in one place. Live games, live stats. Plus, you can track all your fantasy teams and personalize your favorite leagues, teams, and players. Marcus, are you like me? Do you have like 7 different fantasy football drafts coming up next week?
You know, I've never played fantasy football.
Really?
Never once.
That's stunning.
That's crazy.
Have you at least been invited? Has someone ever invited you?
No, I don't think so.
Man,
I don't have any friends, man.
I was going to say, that's almost sad. I feel bad I asked the question. Pass was incomplete for Allen Middleton from Drew Pine. How do you think he's performed tonight?
Well, I think he started off a little slow. He has a good understanding of the offense. I don't think they've asked him to do anything outside of his capabilities, and they haven't been in a situation where he has to make a ton of plays. I mean, they've ran the football, but I think for him not to turn the ball over and keep everybody on the same page, I think he's done a fine job.
Got time and swings it out to McMillan. Across the 40-yard line. Nice open field tackle made by Jalen Joseph, who is the only returning starter on that defense for Lafayette.
That's a nice, safe play. I mean, he looked down the field, and by design, Johnson was a lead blocker for McMillan on the check down. And that's actually called a lead play on the outside. So when you check it down, he has a guy in front of him to block.
Already converted 1 3rd down on the drive. Pine held onto it, and he's going down. Camerlane, the sophomore from outside Montreal, wraps him up. Now we see what the decision is for Bowling Green.
That's a good pass rush there. I mean, the pocket collapsed prematurely for Pine. It's a good job of not actually forcing the football either, though. I mean, you have the lead, decent field position. I thought Jacob Harris got open late across the middle, tight end out of Westerville, Ohio.
All right, we're about to see how long Jackson Cleather can kick this thing. The long last year was 45. This one from longer than that. And the kick is money. Jackson Cleather for 3 from 56. Sweep the leg, Jackson. How about it?
It's a big play. I mean, when you think about it, to knock one in from that distance, week 1, it gets a lot of confidence for your offense and your coordinator, so you don't feel like you have to force it. Once you get into that plus 40 area, you don't want to force the ball. You don't necessarily have to get a first down. If you have a kicker that can knock it in, get you some points.
You talk about giving somebody confidence. Do you think when Jackson was on the sideline there, he really thought Coach George was going to call him from 56? If you don't have confidence now after that kick, my goodness.
Well, especially after he went for it down inside the 10-yard line and didn't make it,
right?
Didn't convert.
Jackson played some high school soccer, grew up outside Dayton in Tip City. As you may have guessed, there is a heavy Ohio influence on this roster. So much amazing high school football in this state. It's been supplying college football programs for generations.
I think this is a very important drive for the Leopards. I mean, they need to try to get something going where they can develop some confidence and feel good about what you're trying to do offensively. I mean, their defense has really kept them in it from this game being extremely lopsided. I mean, they're down 3 scores, but now I think you need to start getting a little more aggressive. Not necessarily take a shot, but open up your playbook a little bit and to try to get some things on film you can coach off of and give your guys some confidence.
Man, it is not an easy start to the season for Lafayette. They got 3 trips away from home to start the year. Got to go to Stonehill and Georgetown before they finally get to go home. DeNoble leaves the pocket, tucks and runs. He does have that element of his game. He ran for 6 touchdowns a couple of years ago in 2023 in his first year as the starter. Kal-El Pascal made the tackle.
Well, he's north of 4,000 yards total career passing yards, and he's had a lot of success. They have a long season. They made the FCS playoffs 2 years ago, and they're trying to get back there. And you can use a game like this to get your confidence going, but also find a rhythm. And you're playing against, you know, FBS level talent, and you have success there. You can do the same thing at the FCS level.
Getting away from pressure again. Dean looking like an athlete, sliding ahead for the first down.
I like the decision making there. I mean, that's just a veteran move. Quarterback run is tough to defend, especially when it's not designed and the quarterback gets a scrambling. But he is going to have to use his legs a little bit more if they're going to score.
Oh, he's taking a shot. And incomplete. Late flag. They were tangled up in coverage down the field. And DeNoble may get the call he wants on MJ Cannon for Bowling Green.
As a former defensive back, I'll tell you, I didn't see a lot of contact. I mean, they may turn this around. That was great coverage there by MJ Cannon. And the slot fade, I mean, you get an inside receiver going vertical with that much grass on the sideline. It's a tough route. I think he should have ran it a little bit wider, and that ball needs to go high and outside. That was actually pretty good coverage.
Yeah, part of the deal there, too, is Carson Pershing is falling down as the contact is happening. All things considered, for the first game of the year, been a pretty clean game. DeNoble throws. Hozak's got another one. They've been using Ethan from that tight end spot tonight.
A little quick game action, man. Get the ball out quick. You know, drop back passes lead to holding penalties and your quarterback scrambling if no one's open. If you can get the ball out quick, man, that's just as good as a off-tackle run play to get yourself in the 3rd and short. I think they need to just find the grass. That means the open areas on the field. And execute.
Coming up on 8.5 to go, 3rd quarter. 3rd down short. First down Lafayette. Edwards plowing ahead. For a guy listed on the roster at 5'9", 200, he does pack a wallop when he gets those legs moving.
Yeah, he does, because he's extremely strong. He's that low center of gravity. He's fast, a track guy. Give that offensive line some credit. You know, last year they used 6 different starting lineups. In 2023 they had 1. So now all those guys from last year now starting to gel as they're going to try to keep the same unit in there as much as possible.
Fake the pitch and get Pershing wide open. Carson Pershing makes the catch. And now, for really the first time tonight, there's a little movement and juice to this drive for Lafayette.
Yeah, they're attacking. And right here, you get to play action with the fake toss. And that's poor eye discipline on the back end by Bowling Green, especially when they're starting to see a lot of man-to-man. Some of those defensive backs who aren't getting challenged will get a little nosy, get their eyes in the backfield, and they just lost track of Pershing right there.
Running all the way. Penza with a lot of room. They have run him twice today down that left side, and both times Jason Penza has found some room on that side of the turf. But there is a flag on the far side of the field.
Yeah, we may have had a block over there that was below the waist, but I tell you what, now they're opening up their playbook a little bit. That was a great
illegal block in the
call.
back. Offense, number 85. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
That's on Hozak. I mean, right here, you'll see it right there, blocking the back. You know, I thought it was a little low too, but he actually got him right. He pushed him in his back. And that's an old school defensive back move. When you're about to get blocked, just turn your back right there. Act like you're running to the ball. But he basically tackled Washington on that one.
Herzing's got it. And that is Dorian Pringle again. And now we got some extracurricular activity as McClendon went down. That was Mason Keener, number 8 for Lafayette, who shoves Jalen McClendon. And the officials keep the flags in their pockets.
Let's take a look around the 30-yard line right here towards the end of the play. It's getting a little chippy. Some roughhousing going on right there.
Snap it quick. First down and more Lafayette. Elijah Stewart, one of the best wide receivers in program history, continues what has been the best drive of the night for Lafayette.
Yeah, he's a record-setting receiver, all-conference guy. I mean, captain of the team. They've got to find a way to get him a little more involved too. But I like the play call.
Ethan Weber for a couple. As Stewart and Washington, both ones on O&D. Again, a little bit of extracurricular right near the Bowling Green bench. Starting to get chippy.
You see Lafayette showing a little tempo here, trying to substitute the best drive of the evening so far. And they've mixed in run and pass extremely well.
DeNoble's got it, setting up another screen, and more room to operate for Lafayette. That's Kente Edwards dominoing his way inside the 15-yard line. And another flag.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 5. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. Automatic, first down. Timeout for an injured player on the defense.
As you'll see, a little roll out there. That's big Eric George. I know his father, Eddie's going to have a few words for him.
Lafayette's drive continues as they look at Jalen McClendon. What happened right before the break. Jalen McClendon had to be helped off the field. So really talented player who Bowling Green is sure hoping's all right on that sideline. Came over with Coach George from Tennessee State. 34 games there from 2021 to 2024 and almost 70 tackles last year.
As you'll see, just kind of got rolled up trying to make that tackle. Keep your head up, though, and see what you hit for sure.
Back to action. This is Lafayette's best drive of the season. DeNoble to the corner, and he missed Keener. JoJo Johnson had the coverage.
That's what you want to do as the coordinators, go after the new corner. I mean, especially when you get a guy like McClendon going out, and you want to go right after his replacement to make him earn his scholarship. And it's a good call. I put a little bit too much heat on that ball, though.
Kente Edwards is the back with DeNoble. They give him the ball, and he's rumbling inside the 5-yard line. 3rd down goal coming up.
Lorfel's made a good stop near the free safety. You know, once you get inside a goal line area, you're going to get 10, 11 hats in the box, depending on the formation, and there's no grass behind you. So those safeties can really get down in the mix.
Edwards not gonna get there. MJ Cannon met him right in the hole.
It's a good stop there. MJ was unblocked, and I will show you that one. As you look to the center of your screen, he's just lurking, shows up unblocked, unaccounted for. It's a big stop on 3rd down.
As of now, the indication is that Lafayette's going for it. This is within Jack Simonetta's range. But down 20-0 late in the 3rd, there may be no decision to make. DeNoble to throw. Stepping up in that pocket. To the end zone. Touchdown, Lafayette. Elijah Stewart. Yet another touchdown, and what's turned it into a banner career.
Mama, there goes that man again. You have to locate Stewart. As you see, scramble drill, cover one. It's in the back of the end zone by himself. What a great throw there by DeNoble. And I think that was a great drive there. Minus a few penalties here or there, I thought that was an excellent drive for Lafayette. And they got extremely aggressive, taking shots, opening up their playbook, and now they're right back in it.
9th career touchdown for Elijah Stewart, who's in the top 10 in a lot of the big receiving categories for Lafayette. Out of the Patriot League, playing in the FCS playoffs a couple of years ago, trying to get back there this year, and they're alive in BG. took him a little bit of game action, but Lafayette's offense has woken up from the slumber. Before the last drive, 75 yards the whole game of offense. That last drive, they marched down the field, scored a touchdown on 4th down and goal. And we got a football game all over again.
Yeah, give credit to Dean and Noble. Executing a great drive, knowing where to go with the football, using his legs. I like how they opened up the playbook there. I mean, Bowling Green, they showed some cracks there, you know, especially with the eye discipline off play action and then losing track of the top receiver and Stewart on the touchdown pass. So tighten up, it's not over.
Do we see another kickoff return for a touchdown from Bowling Green? Cameron Petaway's got it again. Cameron Petaway on the move. They may have to stop kicking to Cameron because he's killing them on kickoff returns.
It's a great response by the special teams by Bowling Green. Obviously, this kickoff team is a weapon. Once again, they're blocking it extremely well, bringing guys across the field. See Middleton right there leading the way. It's a good open field tackle to save a touchdown. And I think it's a good time for Bowling Green to play action and take a shot, too. I mean, cross the 50 got a short field. Why not take a shot now and counterpunch exactly what Lafayette just did?
After the 55-yard kickoff return. This is Roberts. Kadarius Roberts into the secondary and across the 30-yard line. A jolt for the senior from Florida.
It's a good inside zone play. Just downhill. Roberts has that first step out of the backfield. He's just, if he gets north and south, man, you can forget about it.
They've used 5 different running backs tonight. Porter had the last touchdown run to close the first half. Roberts again, shifty, gained a couple of yards. You know, that's one of those runs where you run about 20 yards to gain 2. Robert Stevens made the tackle.
They're trying to run that counter there and from the backside. You pull the tight end, you pull a guard, and then he had enough vision to cut that one back to turn a negative play into a positive one. He has good feet, too.
First year for Roberts at BG. Started as a Stetson Hatter, then moved over to Tennessee State with Coach George. The Stetson Hatter, if you're making a list of best college mascots, that's got to be in your top 10 somewhere.
Timeout. Bowling Green. They're to the half. 30 seconds.
You know, I was thinking about this, Marcus. You know, games like this are sometimes tough to evaluate because you were alluding to earlier the tough schedule that is coming up for Bowling Green. The rest of their non-conference, they go to Cincinnati next week, home against Liberty on the 13th, and then they go to Louisville on September 20th before they kick off conference play on the road at Ohio. Coaching staff seemed grateful to start the year with an FCS opponent. But sometimes when the score is what it is with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, it's kind of a can't win situation sometimes, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of meat on this bone here of a schedule. You look at Cincinnati, Liberty's extremely tough. At Louisville's going to be tough. And right now, Ohio's giving Rutgers everything they don't want. You know, upset alert there in Piscataway. But the one thing Eddie George said was we respect all and fear none. And so week to week, it's just going to depend on who you play and what you do and how you execute.
Drew Pine down the field, almost picked. He was hoping for Roberts, and that was a heck of a break on the football by Christian Watson. And now, unfortunately, we got a Lafayette Leopard down. It's Callahan Blair, the sophomore from Florida, who's down.
I'll tell you what, for a freshman, eligibility-wise, that was a great play. Good eyes on the switch route. You know, Pine thought he had a for sure touchdown, and it almost looked like it, but the way he came off of that and made a play, almost picked it off. I mean, that right there could have been a game-changing moment.
Now they attend to Callahan Blair. transfer from Vanderbilt for Lafayette. Get another look at this great defense you're talking about, Marcus.
Yeah, you'll see Pine is staring down his man entire, and right there you flash right in the screen off of that switch route. Switch route is when two receivers replace each other and go vertical. It's tough for a defender sometimes because you can chase one guy and lose the other, but look at this break. Coming from his deep third position, playing that corner. Good pass breakup.
Good to see Callahan Blair get to his feet. One of 5 kids, a couple of brothers, couple of sisters. It's probably not a surprise that a lot of families with a lot of kids just produce good athletes, you know? It's like natural selection. They all beat up each other and then they turn out to be good athletes.
Yeah, that's what happens in those athletic families when everything's competitive. Good to see the big fella Vanderbilt transfer. You'll see right there, top left of your screen. He's coming inside and he gets kind of caught up in the wash of that pile.
Pine's running out of the pocket here. And he's thrown forward on 3rd down, stayed in bounds to keep the clock running. And now another decision for Bowling Green. Their kicker, Cleather, just made a 56-yarder a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I think they're making a good decision of at least lining up for a field goal. You want to get that, extend that lead a little bit. 13 points is not enough. If you can push it to 16, now you have that 2-score lead and you force those guys to make some decisions if they score again.
This one a mere 39 yards for Jackson Cleather. Good snap and hold. And he's got it again. Jackson Cleather just happy to be back kicking the football for Bowling Green. He missed the last 7 games of last season with injury. And he looks really healthy so far tonight. Coming up on Saturday, a full slate of action on ESPN+. Starts at noon with Merrimack against Kent State. 3:30, you can watch either Holy Cross NIU or Temple UMass, or just use the all-new ESPN app with a multi-view feature to watch them both at the same time. Maction is back. Of course, everyone loves the Maction on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and we'll get to that part of the year, don't you worry. But for now, we got Maction on Thursdays, soon to be Saturdays. Marcus, you were talking about we may have upset alert, Ohio Rutgers. What's going on there?
I'll tell you what, man, it's 6 minutes left in the 4th. They were only down 3 points the last time I saw it. I mean, but that's a great effort there for the defending MAC champions to go down on the road against a Big Ten opponent and hold their own. And we've seen MAC teams upset Power 4 teams, you know, for a long time here, for a lot of seasons.
Zach Long handles the kickoffs for Bowling Green. This is returnable for Jakiri Henley. Henley with a little bit of burst. You know, they've essentially eliminated kickoff returns in the NFL. So you come down here to college, you get to see them, and you're reminded why they're so much fun to watch. We've had a bunch of good ones tonight.
Definitely, man. It's week 1, too, man. I mean, special teams, you know, we asked both coaches how they felt about them, and they felt good. I mean, that's the 3rd phase of the game. You can get some hidden yardage, some momentum. Obviously, you can score for Bowling Green. I mean, that touchdown return kickoff by Petaway earlier set the tone and gave Bowling Green a significant advantage going into the halftime.
DeNoble back on the field. Once again, Jason Penza, who was the running quarterback last year, will run again. They've run that same play every single time he's been in, and it's worked for positive yardage every single time. Lamprey on the tackle.
I'm going to age myself a little bit. That's the single wing, but when it's a running back, it's considered the wildcat that you see his profile. Ran the ball last year, you know, 28 times, 171 yards. But I tell you what, he adds a different dynamic. And don't forget, he can still throw the football. So it's a little different when you got a wildcat, single wing type quarterback back there.
He's going to run it again, this time to the right. And he's got part of the yardage yet again. Jason Penza, the sophomore from Crystal Lake, Illinois, is moving the chains on this drive for Lafayette.
Gotta respect that. I mean, Way to switch it up. This is his role on the team, to get in there and give him some quarterback run game, outnumber the defense in the box. And right now, Bowling Green's struggling with it.
See if they snap it one more time. They will not. To the fourth quarter. One more quarter to go in the head coaching debut of Eddie George at Bowling Green. His kicker's been the star of the show in this quarter. Jackson Cleather from 56. Send that thing to McAfee. Lafayette, a fourth down conversion for 6, and they're hanging it. Things not in the barn for Eddie George in his head coaching debut at Bowling Green. Lafayette got a touchdown in the third on a 4th down and goal. And their offense is moving here on this drive to start the 4th. DeNoble fielded a low snap, and that sent the play going backward. David Afogo with the sack.
Fogo's a good-looking athlete. 6'3", 245. Plays that buck linebacker, which is just a rush-in edge player. Good coverage down the field. Things just didn't come out clean. No, the snap was low and the timing was off for DeNoble.
They've been doing a really nice job in this drive of staying ahead of the chains. Persing in motion. DeNoble flips it over the middle. And wrapped up by Lampron. Gideon Espen Lampron. And third down long coming up after the tackle of Henley.
That was a nice job getting off a block. I mean, that screen play was there. Second down is a good screen and draw down. Defense was pretty aware.
Play fake for DeNoble. He loads and throws. It's caught, and it will not be a first down. After the catch was made, Keener started running backward, and it'll be fourth down for Lafayette.
Yeah, I think Keener right there should have hit the R2 button and hit a little juke in and out. You don't want to run back towards the defense. That pursuit was coming. That's how you see turnovers and the ball flying out. But that was a good completion there to find his man to give him a very manageable fourth down.
Could also hit the circle button for spin, too.
There you go.
You're talking my language now. You're talking my language. Fourth down, 3. DeNoble rolling left. Looking downfield. And it's caught! Elijah Stewart has come alive in the second half. There is a flag right by the Bowling Green sideline.
Eligible downfield. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Replay.
It's on Spencer Adams. Poor Elijah Stewart's walking to the bench going, I did all that for nothing.
Well, let's take a look at the right side of your screen. You get linemen all the way down the field there. A couple guys downfield, actually. Looks like a run play to those defenders. Anytime the linemen are downfield, you really can't throw the ball. I mean, they get a 2-yard window, which helps with RPO, but on the drop back pass, you have to retreat.
DeNoble trying to do it again. Incomplete. Too tall for Keener as Washington was step for step in coverage.
Turnover on downs there. I think they should have converted that to a back shoulder fade. I mean, if a guy's on you stride for stride, you want to break that route off. It's a tough pass to defend. Threw it awfully hard, though, towards that sideline. But it looked catchable. I mean, the ball was there. Now, let's take another look here. I think Keener got his eyes around. Just didn't. Oh, it was a little high. It was a little high.
And now Bowling Green's offense back on the field. Pine the give. Roberts the run for a couple of yards. Marcus, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm thinking this drive for Bowling Green after that carry by McMillan. Yes, you'd love to score, but you'd really like to get like 5 or 6 minutes off the clock here, most important.
Definitely, even get your defense off the field, because right there, Lafayette missed a scoring opportunity when they got in that area of the field. Had the big catch nullified by a penalty, so now you really want to control the clock, eat some minutes, get some first downs, and probably get some points.
Pine, incomplete. And that stops the clock. And it makes it third down and long. Missed Sharp.
Yeah, he threw that one low and outside, and Sharp didn't have a chance to really get a clean look at the catch. But as far as trying to milk some clock, incomplete passes do stop the clock too. So I was a little surprised they threw the ball on second down right there.
Porter becomes the back with Pine. That's who they give it to. And he doesn't get the first down. Oliver Goodwin made the tackle. It does make it fourth down and short, though.
Interesting decision here is going to be made.
What would you do?
I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Got a 2-score lead, 11 minutes left. I think you go for it, even though I don't think there's a wrong answer. I mean, if you do punt and try to pin them down, got a long way to go for a score.
They didn't make it on a fourth down late in the first half, inside the 10. And a Bleed that clock all the way down. All right, so they're going to take the delay, use the extra yardage to punt the ball. What do you think of that decision?
I think that's even better. I think that's even better because you give your punter some room to keep the ball, to pin them down inside the 10. I'm surprised they didn't try to hard count, though. Most times when you see that, look, line up in 4th down offense out there, but they knew they had time to make this decision.
Remember, too, you've got the best punter in the MAC as well, so that is a weapon there with Henderson. They call him the cyborg. What can he do here? He can down him inside the 5. Cameron Petaway has been a special teams superstar tonight. What a slide here to stop that great punt from Henderson from bounding into the end zone.
Yeah, he's working on MAC Special Teams Player of the Week.
Slide like Jeter into second. How about it? Special teams has been the best unit of the night for Bowling Green. Started the season off with a 98-yard return from Cameron Petaway for a touchdown. Then Cleather, the kicker, bang, from 56. And then the guy who they think is going to be the best punter in the conference, John Henderson, with help from, you guessed it, Petaway, has just pinned Lafayette deep. DeNoble back fielding inside his own end zone. Lafayette running the football just to try to get a little breathing space, and they do on that run up to the 6-yard line.
Yeah, Bowling Green special teams, I mean, I'm going to give them an 8 tonight so far. I mean, they play lights out. Look at the return, long field goals. Obviously, down the punt there. You see Lafayette trying to get some breathing room, as you stated. Don't be surprised if they take a shot here or run a screen.
Another give and room for Lafayette. That's Kente Edwards going across the 10-yard line. It's not surprising to see Bowling Green play so well on special teams tonight, because one of the returning coaches from the staff that left when Eddie George came in, Alex Baer, was hired in 2022, and they've been really good year after year. Bowling Green, under his leadership on special teams, has been one of the best teams in the country the last couple of years in blocking punts. Haven't done that tonight, but they've done special teams quite well in other ways. 3rd down 1. Edwards does get the first down. Didn't need a lot, didn't get a ton, as Lampron laid the lumber. But it will be 1st down for Lafayette. Now something they have to think about. They're still only down the 2 scores, but that clock's winding under 9 minutes to go. And we will get a break in the action here. That's Kal-El Pascal down on the field. We'll be back to check on the very talented sophomore from Miami after this. Really good to see Kal-El Pascal off the field. You know, the defense for Bowling Green has a guy with a middle name ESPN, and somehow Kal-El Pascal probably has a better name. So his dad is a giant Superman comic book fan, and he wanted to name his son after Superman's first name, Kal-El. Mom wasn't up for that, but in Hebrew, Kal-El means voice of God. So dad, of course, wanting to name his kid after Superman, says, no, it means voice of God, honey. Let's name him after that. So his name's Kal-El Pascal.
It's good to see the young man being able to walk a little bit with some help. Hopefully he's all right.
It is a 1st down for Lafayette as Penza throws for the first time. That was not how they drew it up before the game. And I think for Lafayette's sake, they're happy that just fell incomplete.
Well, they didn't sell it very well. I mean, the play wasn't very clean. I like the design of it, though, a little razzle-dazzle. You get the throwback screen here to the quarterback. When you get 2 quarterbacks in the backfield together, then you know something's going on. Not very dangerous.
Dean DeNoble was kind of in the coffin corner there and threw up a prayer. Trying to throw again. Incomplete off Perzing's hands. 3rd down.
Trying to get a little quick out there from the slot. Get closer to that 1st down. 3rd and 10 is a lot harder than 3rd and 5. Some of DeNoble's pass have been a little hot. Some heat on there. Still catchable.
John Troxell's team has still got hope down 2 scores, but they probably need this 3rd down. Play fake for DeNoble. Tipped incomplete. Jalen McClendon back in the game and knocking it away.
I'll give Bowling Green secondary a lot of credit. I mean, for the most part, they've been very suffocating in coverage. Playing a lot of man-to-man on third down and obvious passing situations, turning their defensive line loose. It's great coverage there by McClendon.
First year as the punter for Christian Bush, and an active man tonight. There's a couple of legacy guys on this team, and Christian's one of them. His brother Jack played football at Lafayette. That rugby-style punt, which you can do in college. And Ridley overran the ball. Marcus, I think he's lucky that he didn't touch that ball by accident.
Yeah, I think lucky's the perfect word for it because he didn't come to balance very well to locate the football in the air and slipping and falling and stuck his arm out there. That could have been a bad break for the Falcons.
This is the type of drive that offenses dream about in training camp. Up by a couple of scores, trying to milk the clock. And they almost didn't have that chance because Ridley almost touched that football.
Yeah, he got a little too far to his left. And, you know, sometimes with these bright lights, you know, high school football-esque, it's hard to locate that ball in the air with those lights.
Pine pitches. Petaway runs. It's been the special team star of the night and one of 5 different Bowling Green Falcons who have touched the football. Avery Jones brought him down. Not getting any easier for Bowling Green coming up. Got to go to Cincinnati next week. They're back home on the 13th in September to play Liberty. Then they're at Louisville to wrap up non-conference. Blitz picked up, and Pine throws a strike to R.J. Garcia, who is still shifty on his feet. How about R.J. Garcia? You talk about yak.
I'll tell you what, man. I mean, to turn a 5-yard route into that, it's just great individual effort. I mean, once you get the first down, you want to go down. But in this offense today, the receivers haven't had very many opportunities to catch the football, so they want to show what they can do once they get their hands on it.
Back to Petaway, and he's dancing ahead. That was a 25-yard gain for R.J. Garcia on a play that probably should have been, what, 4 or 5 yards on that last catch and run?
Definitely, man. That was he hit L2 on that one, I mean, and the spin. Pushed it together, as a matter of fact. I mean, I haven't played Madden in about 20 years, but I tell you, I know that still works.
You're talking like you're someone who plays it every day, though. All these references. I mean, come on. Another burst for Cadaris Roberts. Remember what we were talking about earlier in the game? All those 2- and 3-yard runs late in the game start turning into 10 or 15. That's what's happening on this drive for BG.
Yeah, Bowling Green's doing a good job of spreading out the defense. You see 3 receivers to one side. That creates run lanes. It gets those safeties out wide, nickel backs.
Play fake and a catch. Nice hands catch. Going up to snatch that one. That is Jacob Harris. If that name and last name sounds familiar to football fans and Bowling Green fans, Jacob's dad, Josh, is a Hall of Famer here at BG. He was Urban Meyer's quarterback.
Jacob Harris down from my neck of the woods in Columbus, suburb Westerville, Northeast. He was a good high school receiver. He was a matchup problem on the outside that converted to tight end in college.
He's blocking here on a run, and Roberts tripped up. So somewhere, maybe they're at the game, but Jacob's mom's going, wait a minute, you're talking about Jacob's dad, Josh. I get it, he was really good, but I was a really good high jumper at Ohio State. So Jacob Harris hit the genetic jackpot.
I'll tell you what, he has a younger brother down there in Westerville, too. It's an excellent high jumper. I'll see where he gets it from, too. Mom is the real athlete of that family. That's basically what you're trying to tell me, brother.
Hey, I know where my bread's buttered. You want them to say nice things about you, go right to the mom. If you can't go to the grandma. Urban Meyer was talking about it earlier today. That was his recruiting pitch. Pine wants to throw. And it's incomplete. Off the hands of Roberts.
I think that was a catchable ball there. I mean, that was a nice job of Pine extending the play, keeping his eyes downfield. I mean, that, you know, Bowling Green wants to probably convert a little better in the red zone as far as touchdowns versus field goals, but why not get the reps? Why not get the points?
Jackson Cleather's having a night. If Cam Petaway is not MAC Special Teamer of the Week, it's number 14 in the brown and orange. From 35 and a 4-for-4 night. Jackson Cleather, book it. They call the punter for Bowling Green the Cyborg. We got to get Jackson a nickname. He's been money tonight. Our Labor Day weekend ESPN and ABC college football featured lineup is awesome. Continues tomorrow night. Dion in Colorado hosting Georgia Tech. Saturday triple header, really good. Neutral site game in Atlanta, Syracuse, and Tennessee. Both those teams starting new quarterbacks this year. Alabama goes to Florida State. The battle for the real Death Valley, LSU and Clemson. And Sunday, South Carolina wants a little revenge after missing out on the playoff last year against Virginia Tech. And then Notre Dame at Miami, Sunday night, 7:30, clear the calendar. Carson back against C.J. Carr. You know, so many people, Marcus, have talked about Notre Dame coming into the year, and they got Jeremiah Love, and they got all this talent, but C.J. Carr from Saline, Michigan, grandpa was a guy you probably know pretty well, Lloyd Carr.
Definitely. His father, Jason, and I were teammates for a couple of years, too. He was a reserve quarterback, so he comes from a good football family. All the best to Coach Carr and that Carr family. I learned a lot from him, and he's helped hundreds of players in the Michigan program.
CJ's brother Tommy is now the starting quarterback at Saline. They were opening up their season tonight against Rockford in Michigan. They're a power on the west side. Lafayette hasn't had a chance to return it a whole heck of a lot tonight. And Henley is tackled before he can get to the 25-yard line. Talking about how, for Lafayette, their schedule is not easy to start the year. Going to Stonehill and Georgetown after this one wraps up at BG tonight. Finally get home for 4 games after that. Columbia, Princeton, and Fordham. All those teams on that graphic are not horrible places to get degrees. And that's part of the selling point for Lafayette, the Patriot League. Is it FBS? No. But can you set yourself up for the rest of your life if you come here? Yeah. Henley on the run. And he is tackled beautifully in the open field. How about Keon Washington?
These corners are physical for Bowling Green. Talk about Washington, McClendon. I mean, check a lot of boxes. 6 foot, 6'1", can run, 185, an open field tackle. Look at that, defeating a block, almost causing a fumble too.
Henley brought down by Gideon Lamprum. The transfer from Dayton, he was one of the best in the FCS last year, has been very impressive in his FBS debut tonight. Under 4 to go. Lafayette scored a touchdown on a 4th down and goal earlier in this half. It remained a 2-score game for much of this second half. But Cleather just made a 35-yarder for Bowling Green to essentially ice it. High snap and a throw across the middle. That should be a 1st down. Nice catch by Devin Page. High into the air to snatch it.
It's a good call, slant route, beating his man, outside leverage, inward breaking route, good timing on that throw.
It's Penza at quarterback now. He's been running mostly when he's been in the game tonight. Part of the game where you get new guys in new spots. Weber to run it. Brought down after a gain of a couple.
I like the patience and the vision there by Weber. Understanding there was nothing on the left side of that line and being able to cut it back and make something out of nothing. Lafayette's going to be very competitive in that Patriot League, and I think they're going to take a lot of positives out of this game.
Competing up at the FBS level. Believe it or not, it is the first time ever that Lafayette football has played a game in the state of Ohio. And you may be thinking, okay, is that really that weird? Well, considering the fact that Lafayette's been playing football since the 1880s, and I know they're on the side of Pennsylvania that's closer to Philadelphia and New York City, but still, Pennsylvania and Ohio border each other. And somehow we are watching history tonight for John Troxell's team. Their first ever trip to Ohio has 2 minutes to go as Eddie George is about to win his first one at Bowling Green. Who knows where the coaching journey for Eddie George here at Bowling Green goes from here, but his debut, barring something really interesting happening in the final couple of minutes, he's about to walk out of here a winner. A guy who admitted to us, you know, I never thought about coaching. When I retired, my goal was I'm going to make a few $1,000,000 a year in my wealth management job. I'll play a lot of golf. I'm going to drink some wine in the south of France. But the staff at Tennessee State came to Eddie George a few years ago and said, we need you. And Eddie said, you do? Is this really for me? And then Marcus, as you talked about, Eddie realized he was called to it. Built that program at Tennessee State, got him to the FCS playoffs last year. Now he's been called to Bowling Green. When Urban Meyer actually contacted Coach George about the opening here at Bowling Green, Coach Meyer still keeps ties here at Bowling Green, his old employer. And when Eddie George took the call from Urban Meyer, he was driving through, of all places, Bowling Green, Kentucky. So he felt like somebody up there was talking to him. And now he's here, the proud head coach of the Bowling Green Falcons. And they're a couple of kneel downs away from win number 1 in 2025 in his coaching career here.
Well, Eddie George is good for the game. I mean, he was the consummate pro, played well, you know, kept his name clean. Now he's helping young men develop into future leaders, coaching the game, and he's an ultimate competitor. Like I said, I played against him in college and in the NFL, man, and keeps that smile going. And it's interesting because these kids love him. I mean, and when you get a lot of new faces and a lot of different personalities, it's hard for that to gel and mesh.
Lucian Anderson is into the game for Bowling Green at quarterback. They're really high on the sophomore from Georgia. 6'3", 200. And they talked about, Marcus, how Lucian Anderson, who knows how much he plays this year with Drew Pine here, but he is going to benefit being around someone like Drew Pine, who's played so much and played at the highest levels of college football.
Definitely going to benefit, man. And, you know, backup quarterbacks, they're always one play away from getting in and making a difference. And I'm sure they have some packages for him. He's a great athlete, smart player. So don't be surprised if you see him a little bit more than expected.
Eddie George never thought he was going to coach football, but he's been called to this profession. And in his first game as a head coach at the FBS level, he's a winner. Test 1 passed at Bowling Green for Eddie George and his Falcons in 2025.
Congratulations to Coach George, win number 1 at Bowling Green. His kids went out and competed. They had a game plan to running the football. They played well on special teams. Give Lafayette a ton of credit. They're going to have a good year. I think they'll improve on that 6-6 record a year ago. But today, it goes to Eddie George and those Bowling Green Falcons, and his staff's done a great job putting that team together, putting out a good product today on ESPN+. And I'll tell you what, man, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be a long